Scooby-Doo. It's one of my favorite franchises of all time. I mean, the premise of a bunch of sleuthing teens and their dog may sound simple in concept, but it's brought a lot of joy into my life as a result of that. From movies to games to shows and everything in between, it usually was at least decent. I said usually. And then you get into the really weird stuff. Yes, every franchise has their weird stuff, but Scooby-Doo seemed to be the one that always leaned towards the weird. From crossovers with John Cena and Kiss, to changing the formula of Scooby-Doo as a whole, to being more adult. It usually was pretty damn great. And in one Halloween, I found such an oddity. It's Halloween. It's kinda scary. I've made my home here, in a tree. At least I got some electricity, neighbors always seem to throw out good food. Might be rich or something, I don't know. But why focus on my problems when I could talk about something? No. Okay. The Scooby Poo project? I don't remember this? Well, I guess it's time to use our age-old friend, the internet. Oh, that! The Scooby-Doo project. Technically a bunch of commercials and shorts that ran in between the 1999 Scooby-Doo marathon, but was stringed together at the end to make a special ending for it. It was obviously parodying the recent hit The Blair Witch Project, which was revealed at the Sundance Film Festival in January before being released widely in July of that year. The history behind this project was that 3 producers/writers, Casper Kelly, Larry Morris, and Steve Patrick, were hired to pitch ideas for commercials promoting the marathon, and they saw the movie, most likely in the Sundance Festival, playing its premiere in January before its wide release, and made a proof of concept with Daphne and was given a go. They then had to start filming to get ready for October 23rd, when the marathon was releasing. Literally only having from July to October to shoot this. 4 months at most, and that's not even specifying if there was a technicality like starting on July 31st or something. And it was one of those things that unfortunately plagued many TV bumpers, and the thing that everyone hates about the Mario 3D anniversary, it was a limited release. Yeah, if you weren't sitting down watching the marathon, you'd miss this little oddity in history, and if not for the internet, it would have been lost in history like that Scooby-Doo encouraged the cowardly dog bumper, which befell a worse fate of not having time travelers caring enough to get all the bumpers on good quality. I say time travelers because I refuse to believe that there were people in 1999 who had the precognitive ability to seemingly predict that this Scooby-Doo marathon was worth saving on a VHS. Well, sure, there was an Aftermath marathon that just featured the project as the main feature, which is surprising since this is 1999 and I doubt reviews were that fast, so it's either they knew that this was gonna be a hit or they just forgot about Tomorrow, but I like to think it's time travelers. Either way, this little oddity seems to be one of the better Blair Witch parodies, even compared to our modern day, which doesn't mean a lot because the oh hell no, I'm looking at that hip-hop witch, let's go! You know what I always say, always commit to what you got first. Now, let's just get this ready. The project follows the basic premise of the original film. A videotape is found detailing the mystery gang when they were sleuthing a local legend in a small town before leaving their mystery machine for a night in the woods before ending up missing. Something that I appreciate was that there was a commercial that kind of led up to this project, nodding to the ridiculous amount of marketing the original Blair Witch built up before and after its premiere, and those kind of details carry over well here. It's almost uncanny with the plot points that this parody covers, even down to specific shots that were shot outside of the conventional scenes you expect to get that treatment. Heck, the project isn't afraid to poke fun at Scooby-Doo conventions as well, leading to some pretty great moments.
They look different!
What are you talking about?
Like, I don't know. Things just look more realistic.
Even though this can be unsettling sometimes, though it may be just a me thing since I can't even get out of my bed when it's at night, the characters make it fun enough to remove the scary factor, even if it lingers sometimes. Also, the pacing is really good for what it is. Because of its bumper commercial nature, a lot of the skits had to be broken up in order to be understood even if you didn't see the one before it. So a bunch of this project is pretty segmented, starting from when the gang leave the van to finding the haunted house, or 80% of the project. If I could say one thing, I think it's a tad mean-spirited at points. Like, I understand that was the point, the original movie did this, and again, there are some great deliveries whenever the gang quip at each other, but other times they straight up argue.
Why is it you're the one who's always driving anyway?
Oh, is that how it is? Well, listen here, Ms. Smarty Pants. Maybe if you chip in for gas every once in a while, you could drive.
Going into this blind, it's kind of jarring watching this compared to everything else I've seen Scooby-Doo, so I guess take it as you will. The presentation is also at its weakest and best attribute though. It's rather simple to pick up a camera and start filming, but I think it's hard when you're replicating a certain style that this kind of thing where it's more scripted and it has to be more structured in order to work as well as it does. It's why the Blair Witch Project worked so well, and it's why it works here as well. The animation is sparse and frankly really stiff, like my grandma. But it's understandable because they were probably mimicking the show with its budget and even less time to work on it. I mean, there's a quote right here that's just, "Our budget for original animation was tight, which is why he had to make sure to get all the characters from the back as part of the package. We hit a lot of lip flap using those shots over and over." If anything, it's authentic to the actual show, but even then, I'm impressed with what they were able to get away with. Like having the characters being fully tracked, that must have been hell to do here, especially with that shaky camera moving and everything. I mean, if you put care into actually creating a mystery machine when you could just made a 2D version of it, especially with the fact that this apparently was too expensive to fly over to Atlanta and had to be left over in Canada where the project was forced to be filmed at, you really gotta be committed to making this a passion project of sorts. And even then, we're given a good sense of the characters being there with simple tricks, like having the characters holding stuff even though we never see their hands, or just the voice acting to carry a scene with barely anything much on screen at all.
What's he doing here?
Like, did you call him Scoob?
And apparently the cast stills that were used here were also used for other promos and such, but I couldn't find anything concrete, so let me know if there's any. I would love to see them. If this kind of stuff interests you, I'm linking a short documentary detailing the filming of the project, where there's some more looks on the cheats that they made while working on this project. It's only like 7 minutes long, but it's still neat to see. Oh, the voice acting! They got the cast at the time to do these over the phone, who last voiced the characters in 1998 for Zombie Island. Man, the 90s and early 2000s were a good time to be a Scooby-Doo fan. We were eating good. Also, what kind of phones do they use? These sound pretty good to me. Or maybe I just got a bad one. The voice acting honestly sells this entire project with the actors' deliveries, making some of the best stuff I've seen from Scooby-Doo in terms of comedy. Is it their best work? I don't know, but I like to consider that this was probably a highlight for them. Also, if I had a nickel every time someone made fun of Scrappy-Doo with the same voice actor, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's strange that it happened twice, you know? But you know what? This is cool. It really is super cool. Where else can you see a short made by an animated show's marathon that parodied a horror film that came out less than a year and won an Annie in the process? That's insane! I really gotta give props to the team that made this happen and to the internet for preserving their hard work. You guys are the real guys for doing the hero's work. I'm just talking about this crap. And this thing won an Annie for Outstanding Animated Special Project. Wow! And at a time when the team were apparently worried about being overlooked by other parodies, which had released beforehand in the fall, only to be considered the good one? It must have been amazing to feel. Gotta really tip my hat to this small team of 3, Ashley Kohler, whose last name is credited as Nixon for whatever reason, and the voice actors for some of their best performances in my humble opinion. Also, can't forget about those internet preservationists who made this thing viewable to watch in good quality no less. I talked about the Scooby-Doo project. talked about the Scooby-Doo project. What do you want from me? No. 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 Wait, what? Oh, it's November. It's Halo month.